Talk about a very important item of English first year, English first paper. If you look at the image, you can understand or assume something. Yes, the soldiers, the tank, and the breeze. Look, the old man and the breeze. That is an old man. The breeze is very important, and the war. Next, this is the picture we have seen in the textbook, peace, conflict, ADR, war, everything. Now, peace, conflict, and war. Go to the next image. This image, I think you could, yes, you do. The man, that means he lives in this house. Yes, this is a beautiful house, really beautiful house. It is Ernest Miller Hemingway, July 21, 1899 to July 2, 1961. Therefore, our today's topic, the old man and the breeze, Ernest Miller Hemingway. It is in our textbook, Unit 10, Peace and Conflict, and Lesson 4. The same title of the Lesson 4, The Old Man at the Breeze. This is a short story written by Hemingway, very famous story we know. He is a very famous story writer. He is a novelist. He wrote many fictions, and he was famous for his fictions and short stories. Now, from this lesson, you will be able to read the story fluently with clear meaning, write the main theme, and answer the questions for examination. Comprehend the meaning of the difficult words and phrases. Okay, let's go. Hemingway's life at a glance. Born July 21, 1899, Oak Park, Illinois, USA. Died July 2, 1961, at the age of 61. Ketchum. It is Ketchum, Idaho, USA. Notable awards: Pulitzer Prize for Fiction and Nobel Prize in 1954. Okay, let's go a brief. Hemingway's life in brief. Ernest Miller Hemingway, July 21, 1899 to July 2, 1961, was an American novelist. Look, he is a great novelist and one short story writer and journalist and a sportsman. He was born on July 21, 1899, Oak Park, Illinois, USA. His economical and understated style, which he termed, that means the style he has followed in his writing, he himself given a name of that style, and this name, the iceberg theory. He himself called his style the iceberg theory. Had a strong influence on 20th century fiction, while his adventurous lifestyle and his public image brought him admiration from later generations. Admired him. Hemingway produced most of his work between the mid-1920s and the mid-1950s. This duration he composed many of his great works, and he won Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954. He published 7 novels, 6 short story collections, and 2 non-fiction works. 3 of his novels, 4 short story collections, 3 of his novels. Out of 7 novels, 3 of his novels, 4 short story collections out of 6 short story collections, and 3 non-fiction works were published posthumously. Posthumously means after the death of this great man. Posthumously means after his death. Many of his work are considered classics of American literature. He almost died in 1954. 1954 he almost died. That means he got an injury after plane crashes. Injuries left him in pain and ill health for much of the rest of his life. In 1959, he bought a house in Ketchum, Idaho, where in mid 1961 he ended his own life. This is a brief life sketch of Hemingway. Now, look at this image. Our today's topic, you could remember, the old man at the bridge. That means an old man, he sits on a bridge, the old man at the bridge. This is our topic today, dear learners. The old man at the bridge, Ernest Miller Hemingway. An old man with steel-rimmed spectacles and very dusty clothes sat by the side of the road. There was a pontoon bridge. Pontoon, look at this, pontoon, temporary floating bridge across the river, and carts, trucks, and men, women, and children were crossing it. The mule-drawn carts staggered, if you look, staggered, moved slightly up the steep bank from the bridge with soldiers helping push. A soldier is helping just the staggering carts against the spokes of wheels. The trucks ground up and away, heading out of it, and all the peasants, if you look at the peasants means farmer, plodded along in the ankle, walked slowly with heavy step along in the ankle deep dust, just ankle deep dust. But the old man sat there without moving. The old man sat on the bridge without moving. He was too tired to go any further. That means he was so tired that he could not go further. It was my business to cross the bridge. The narrator, the soldier, the narrator is the soldier. The soldier said it was his business to cross, to help all the people just to cross the bridge, just to cross the river. Explore the bridge head beyond and find out to what point the enemy had advanced. And he just as a security man, he just observed the attack from the enemy. That means this last, if you, dear learners, if you look at the last thing, that means, and find out, that means the narrator, the soldier said, find out what point the enemy had advanced. In what way the enemy is advancing, just to find out the path of the enemy. Therefore, he can, or his party, his group can attack them. Now, this is analysis, or we can say summary of the story. Look, Hemingway made a beautiful contrast between the crowd of people all moving forward together and the old man sitting still all by himself. That means there is a beautiful contrast between the old man alone, he is alone, and the people, so many people, different various races, of various community, they are moving, they are leaving their state to another state. The old man is clearly alienated from the rest of the evacuees. That means the old man totally separated from others evacuees. The soldiers are helping to keep the carts going, but they don't seem to be helping individual people. The soldiers are helping the people in group, but not the individual people, as we see in case of the old man. They maintain a degree of detachment from the desperate evacuees. From the desperate evacuees. The soldiers scouting and the people's quick fleeing tell the approaching of deadly war. That means, if we look, this is the approaching of the deadly war. That means the background of the story is a war. I did this and returned over the bridge. There were not so many cars now and very few people on foot, but the old man was still there. Where do you come from? I asked him. That means the soldier asked the old man. From San Carlos, he said and smiled. He was very tired. He was too tired to go forward, but he answered smiling. He answered smiling. That was his native town, and so it gave him pleasure. That was his native town. He is now in his native town. Therefore, he smiled and he was very happy. Gave pleasure to mention it, and he smiled. I was taking care of animals, he explained. Very simple language, dear learners. I think there is hardly any difficulty to find out. Oh, I said, not quite understanding. The narrator said, yes, he said, I stayed, you see, taking care of animals. That means he was a herdsman or he was a shepherd. I was the last one to leave the town of San Carlos. That means they are leaving San Carlos. All the people of San Carlos left. Why? The approaching of war. He did not look like a shepherd. The narrator said, he did not look like a shepherd, very old, haggard man, nor a herdsman. And I looked at his black, dusty clothes and his grey, dusty face and his steel rimmed spectacles. Spectacles means this is called spectacles. And said, what animals were they? What are the types of animals you are? Now look at this, the summary or the analysis of this part. The narrator is the soldier. We know the narrator is the soldier. He shows his decent and sincere intentions by engaging the old man in conversation. That means the story writer himself, right? This is the technique of the writer. The Hemingway himself just moved forward, just to introduce the narrator to the old man. That means everything is circulated. The story is totally circling around the old man. However, his genuine engagement seems limited. By engaging the old man in conversation when everyone else has ignored him, right? So, everyone is busy with himself, busy with herself, but nobody cared the old man. But the narrator, the soldier, seemed to be very a good sincere intention just to introduce him with the old man. However, his genuine engagement seems limited. Like look at the look the Hemingway, what Hemingway did. The genuine engagement seems limited as he is distracted from the man's story by anticipating the fighting to come. Right? That means his attention not on the old man seems to be very flickering, very glimmering. That means seems to be very light. That means the narrator is less attentive to the story of the old man. Rather, he highlights, that means he highlighted the story of war or the conflict, fighting. His aloofness strikes the reader as more regrettable because of how Hemingway humanizes the old man. This is remarkable, this is very important, you note it down. Who smiles when speaking of his hometown and bravely sought to protect his animals like a humble shepherd. What animals were they? I asked. That means the soldier narrator asked, what animals are they? Were they? They were three animals. There were three animals altogether, he explained. There were 2 goats and a cat, and then there were 4 pairs of pigeons. And you had to leave them. I asked, you had to leave them. You came alone. The old man said, yes, because of the artillery, because of the fighting. I could not take them with me because of fighting. The old man explained. The captain told me to go because of the artillery, and the captain told me, please leave San Carlos, please quickly leave San Carlos. And you have no family? I asked. Look at the conversation with the narrator. Narrator is advancing very close to the old man. and you have no family? Have you no family at all? Your wife, your child, your kids? I asked, watching the far end of the bridge where a few last carts were hurrying down the slope of the bank. Last few carts, right, just hurrying down the. No, he said, only the animals I stated. That means he is alone in this art, nobody else, and his animals, nothing. The cat, of course, will be all right. And we know the intimation of cat, we know is very well. The old man himself confirms his lack of close social ties. That means he is totally separated from the society, revealing that he has only animals to share his life with, nobody else on earth. While both and the cat must be self-sufficient to survive. While both he and the cat must be self-sufficient to survive, readers have more faith in the cat's fate than in man's, as he is not making any effort to save himself. Right? He tried. He had no try. He had no attempt to save himself. The man avoids speaking directly about death, but his anxiety suggests that their deaths are indeed on his mind. Right? He did not tell. He did not. He was not interested to talk or deal with death, but the death of the animals is concerned. He was very much concerned about the death of the animals he left. Dear learners, thank you very much. In our next class, we will complete the next story. Thanks.